So let's start off with views. What is a view? Well, a view is basically a look into the database that retrieves information based on what you need. In this particular case, we're looking at the My Open Leads view, which retrieves all the leads that are owned by the individual who happens to be logged on to the system. So if you're logged into the CRM application and you look at the My Open Leads, it will show you the leads that you own within CRM. You'll notice that the initial view showed on the screen is the default view. However, you can choose to display more than one view at a time. And you can do this by simply coming and clicking on the tab to the right and selecting another view that you'd like to display. So for instance, I could choose to display all open leads. This gives me the ability to click on one tab and hop back and forth between these two views. I can also choose to pin a view so that it will always be there, and I can do that by clicking on the thumbtack, which now shifts to an up and down position, which shows that this is now pinned or will be displayed every time I open Outlook moving forward. I can open any number of tabs, and I can also close tabs by simply clicking on the X to make it go away. We'll go ahead and click on this one here. I make it the active tab, and then I have the X, which closes it out. Views are the basis for much of what we do inside of CRM. So next, let's take a look at how we would apply filters to a view. Well, first of all, so I have some more examples, I'm going to go ahead and open up another view real quickly to My Open Leads so that we have two open. I'm going to go back to Open Leads, and now I'm going to open up the Filters section on the form. And you do this by hitting on the double down arrow right here, and this opens up a section which displays the filters that are currently in effect for the current view. And you'll notice as we switch from one view to another that this changes to demonstrate exactly which filters are in play. So now let's add another filter to the mix. So I come over and I click on the filter drop-down, which gives me a submenu that will allow me to add filters, reset filters, save filters, and save filters as a new view. In this case, we're going to go ahead and add a new filter. So I want to go ahead and do filter, and I don't want to filter on any of the fields that were there in the initial list. I want to go and add a different filter because I want to filter based upon the state. So I'm going to scroll on down in this list, which has a list of all of the fields that are available within CRM, even if they're not displayed on a form. And so in this particular case, we want to go to state province and use that as our filter. And so I've selected that field, and now we want to say that basically that this state province field is equal to WA, or Washington. And if I click OK, you'll see two things happen. First of all, you'll see it's being added to the list of filters for this view, and second of all, it will change the number of records that are displayed and only display the ones that are filtered as being equal to the state of Washington. So I click OK. As you can see, we've added our filter line here, and I have also now filtered the list of records you were looking at a moment ago down to these two. So that's how we add a simple filter. To get rid of a filter, I can click on the filter line, and I can either choose to edit it, or I can just reset that line of the filter and make it go away. And I do so by just clicking on the X, and as you can see, my data reverts to the original list, as do my filters, because I got rid of the one filter that I just added. So now let's choose a slightly more complex filter. So first we're going to go to Open Leads, which gives me a few more columns to play with and make it easier for you to understand what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go and click and add a new filter, and I don't want to use any of the initial lists, so I'll go to the main list, and I'm going to come down to the zip postal code and select that as my filter field. And what I want to do is I want to select those zip codes that begin with a 2. So we'll do that real quickly and click OK. As you can see, my new filter has been added beneath the open one, and it's drilled down and it's now given me a total of 5 records. So now let's go back and edit it so that it shows more than just zip codes that start with 2. So let's go and add an OR condition where it would also begin with a 5. This means that the filter is going to include records which either begin with 2 in the zip code or 5 in the zip code. We click OK. You can see it added some more records and it modified our filter. So this is how we can use and or to build a more complex filter. So let me make a couple of additional notes. First of all, I can add as many filter lines as I want, and that each one will appear as a single line in this filter area. I can open and close the filter area by simply clicking on the up arrows or the down arrows to open that space and give me more or less real estate. As I go from one tab to another, the filters displayed will be based upon what's currently in effect for the view in question. We'll go back to my open leads, and you'll notice that my filters have gone away. That's because these are temporary. And when I return to a view, then it's going to go for the default filters in that view. So let me go ahead and add a filter very quickly to replace what I just wiped out. We'll go to More, we'll go down to Zip Postal Code, and we said we want begins with a 2 or begins with a 5. And we definitely want it to be an or, and so we click OK, and now I've restored my filter. So, since they go away when I hop from one to another, I might want to consider that I would want to save these if I want to reuse them. So to save the filter set that I've built, I can simply go and click on the filter drop-down and click Save Filters as a new view. So if I click on this button, I get a dialog box, and I can name my filter and save it. So it's automatically been added as an open tab. I can pin this just like any other, and I can move from one to another, and you'll notice that my open leads is back to open only, and my open leads filtered by zip code 2 or 5, on the other hand, retained the filter that I built in earlier. Another note, you'll notice that it has now become my view. So when I went and saved that filter, not only did it open it as a tab and let me pin it, but it also created a view which I can now access anytime I want and go back and forth between those views. So the last thing I want to show you is how we can clear the filters. And we do this by clicking on Reset Filter. But in this view, there's nothing to reset because this is a saved view, and therefore the filters are now inherent. This will also be true in these other views. However, if I've built some filters, which I'll do very quickly, I can clear my filters by coming up here and clicking Reset Filter, which takes it back to the filtering that comes from the view that I have open. And so we click Reset Filter. You'll notice it's back to current user and open, and my filtering has been removed. Video training series available from us include End User Training with 5 sets of video modules designed to introduce new users to CRM 2011. We focus with 1 course on general navigation and then common functions, plus 1 course for each of the 4 CRM application areas: sales, marketing, service, and service scheduling. We have 2 in the technical series, the Install Customize series and the Workflow and Dialog Processes series. For developers, we have 2 series, one for extending CRM beyond the customization basics and interfacing CRM 2011 with other applications. Other services available from business IT professionals include instructor-led training. We offer CRM 2011 boot camps about every other month throughout the country. We also offer individually tailored private classes, either on location or delivered via the web. We can provide custom training development and delivery. We can use our series decks as a basis and then create customized training that matches your CRM customizations and then provide either instructor-led training or video-based training for your specifications. We also provide mentoring and support for CRM teams. Our consultants are ready to go to the next level to help your team evolve that skill set that it needs. And finally, we work with CRM 2011 projects including planning, licensing, development, implementation, and ongoing support. This video has been prepared by Business IT Professionals Incorporated, helping you connect with your customers. I thank you for your time and hope you found it helpful.